Beach FM, locals talking to locals.
And my pleasure to welcome now from the Greater Wellington Regional COuncil, the Kapiti representative, Penny Gaylor. Good morning.
Good morning. How are you doing?
I'm very well. I'm grateful to catch you. You've been zooming around so much recently, haven't you?
Not on my broomstick, Richard. On the airwaves, from computer to computer, bouncing around. So this is the new way of doing all sorts of business. So last week we had our very first formal council meeting on Zoom. So I guess there was 13 of us councillors. There was a couple of extra people on our committees that we'd kind of brought into that formal meeting, plus numerous staff. So we had actually 3 screens, what looks like the Brady Bunch, 3 different screens of those. And of course, so I could never quite see everybody at once.
Yes.
But you shuffle, you can swipe the screen across. That was the first time we'd ever done a very formal meeting like that. And that is when the beauty of standing orders really comes out. And it ran really well, given the restraints of, doing it on that kind of distance approach. But because the chair, Darren Ponter, follows the standing orders procedures, and he says when you're speaking and stuff, so it didn't matter that you didn't know if you could see anybody else's hand or they could see yours or what was going on. He could then just say, Councillor Gaylor's next, and then Councillor Staples and Councillor Laban. So, it all kind of ran very smoothly like that.
Great.
And the only thing is, so now we're all spread around the whole region because we have, of course, representatives from different parts of the region. And then we have some staff, of course, who don't all just live in Wellington City. They live up this way, they live in the Wairarapa, they're in the Hutt, all over the place. So they too having to deal with the technology and the challenges of that. So, the coverage isn't great with some of them, and they're sitting there with little headphones or just all sorts of things. So hiccups are happening. Absolutely. It's not easy peasy in a perfect world, like one of those sci-fi movies. They never have technology problems, but the reality is you do. At the moment, I'm just experiencing a glitch with the kind of the multiple devices that I operate my life on. I'm getting a bit cornered, shall we say. I'm kind of going down to my iPad, and the other one doesn't work, but the technology's stopped putting things into it. Oh my goodness. So a little bit curly. But anyway, as I said, the Zoom meetings are working really well, getting quite used to them. Some of my colleagues, when we had a councillor workshop yesterday, or the last couple of days, a couple of them getting a bit fancy, and they're putting up fancy backgrounds.
Oh, really? Yes, you can do that in Zoom, can't you?
And I'm going, how do I do that? How do I do that? But we couldn't do that on my iPad. So I had to angle my shot so we had a nice painting behind me and stuff. So
just frame it with Otaki. That's all you need.
Exactly. But, the stories of behind the scenes, I'll share with you all. One of the first meetings, Zoom meetings I had a couple of weeks back, and at the end of it, everybody just stood around the meeting. Everybody okay? Da da da. And I said, yep. I said, and wasn't I cool, calm, and collected in that Zoom meeting, despite the fact that halfway through, out of the corner of my eye, I spotted this little mouse. he was having a whale of a time cruising around my lounge, ducking under the couch and all this sort of carry on going. And I just had to, have my game face on because everyone could see me if I was startling or standing on a chair.
Yes. Oh, that's wonderful.
And me kind of thinking, what am I going to do? Right. So the funny things that are happening.
Well, we are here in the lockdown. There's lots of comments around the place that there's a possibility of some kind of a lessening, possibly to level 3 in the foreseeable future. Now, at the moment, we have free transport on the half-hourly, the restricted schedule, on public transport around the region. And I was wondering if there is a lessening of the lockdown levels down to possibly level 3, does that affect what the current arrangements are with public transport?
So for the meantime, we know that there's going to be free public transport until the 30th of June. The government's made that commitment. like everybody else, we don't yet know what level 3 versus level 4 would be until they tell us, and until they tell us when it's going to be in place. And we would follow those requirements. For the meantime, we've continued with very, careful cleaning processes daily on all the units and the buses. There's the social distancing well in place and well in hand on buses and units. And there are very few people on them because it is just for people who are going to work, who are essential, going there for essential services or essential appointments such as medical appointments. So, that's where we're at right now, so people need to stay focused on that. When we move to a next level, and if there is a change of guidelines around that, we will absolutely work really hard through the lights of this interview to share what is now different.
Right.
But we will be absolutely taking every precaution to make sure that we match what the government is expecting from us as a public transport provider, and that we are being absolutely consistent with every public transport provider around the country too.
Excellent. Are you involved in government officials about what may be the shape of the future?
So that's the other part of work that's now very much taking our focus. I guess the first couple of weeks, our officers were very focused and mobilising to get all that sort of stuff in place and sorted. All our staff working remotely, that they're all they're in a good space and they're doing their job, and they're just, in lots of ways doing some business as usual. I put a media release out in the last couple of days talking about actually that some of the pest management work, we just, because of the requirements of isolation, our staff aren't able to be out and about doing that stuff. One of the things that we are getting people to go out and do, though, is, the wasp nests, for example, so people find those.
Yep.
That is something that is an imperative that needs to be sorted when you find one. But the other stuff, for the meantime, while we're at level 4, our staff are safe and at home as much as possible, and we're doing that. The work that our staff are now doing, and they can do it from home, and we're Zooming around, and we're, across the internet we're Zooming and talking to one another, but they're able to do it remotely, is that the development of what our proposals are to government for the significant infrastructure recovery packages that the government will then decide and allocate money towards. So we, like everybody else around the country in terms of local government, have been working very quickly in the last week or 2 weeks, but getting our requests together to government. We are being quite busy this week as councillors, starting to see that and kind of having that kind of come to us. We're doing workshops. That's more behind the scenes opportunities. It's a very fast moving environment. We had our council chair, Darren Ponter, who has been meeting with the mayors from around the region at the Mayoral Forum, looking at what we do as a region and looking at what TAs are doing as independent councils. So, and there is a mix of all that. And while there is also the focus currently on the request out to from government to councils was about shovel-ready infrastructure projects. So we have to keep that really focused. What is ready to go? Not way beyond. What is ready to go as much as possible? And of course, the big focus is what is about generating the local economy, our regional economy, that is very much about employment. So that's, the focus is there, what's going to be good value for money to create employment. But of course, for us at councils, what are projects that deliver all of that and at the same time not compromising the environment, not worsening our climate change situation, but actually opportunity to make it even better. So that was why it was really interesting this week. Also, we've had some statistics come out through NIWA from the Regional Council around the tracking the emissions in the Wellington City and the Upper Hutt, where we had our testing station.
Way down.
Way down. And it just is, we're always collecting it. So it's not doing anything differently there. It's just timely to talk about, and this is in no way saying, thinking around COVID-19 and all that sort of thing. This is simply saying, for me, I'm saying, this isn't, a little peek at what a future could be like if we have really significant move from emission, vehicles that pumping out all the emissions, pumping out all the CO2. The world would be like for us in the Wellington City, for example, if we had significant numbers of electric cars.
Indeed.
Or significant numbers of electric buses, which is what we're trying to move to as a regional council. So in Wellington City alone, I think off the top of my head it was something like 72% down, and in Upper Hutt something like 63% down. So,
it's not a matter of if, it's a matter of when, and of course the sooner the when arrives the better from a number of points of view, and as you've just been pointing out, we're giving the environment a bit of a vacation as well at the moment, so that's probably a good thing. So this is a lot of work going on, obviously, Penny, but it's not business as usual, it's business as unusual, isn't it?
Absolutely. Very challenging, and I'm very proud of the work that all the staff at Regional Council are doing. They're, and as all the other councils are doing, everybody's just working so hard, and it's so good to be, experiencing, whether I'm seeing it on Facebook or in public comments, the courtesy that people just sharing as you go around for your walk in the afternoon with your dog, as I do. How polite and friendly, and just we're all on the same page. Well, we're nearly all on the same page, but everybody's just, managing their personal space. Everyone's going, hi. It's lovely. So it's very heartening.
Lovely. Lovely to talk to you as well. Thank you so much for your time. I know it's precious, and we appreciate that you contribute here to Beach FM. Thank you, Penny Gaylor.
Thank you.
106.3 Beach FM.